We are starting our project from two images, a longer and a shorter exposure. We are doing the usual plan, opening the shadows, bringing down the highlights, and we are putting the profile to camera flat to get a more natural coloring. The white balance we put to a warmer and add a little bit of magenta. We are doing the white points and the black points, keeping the Alt pressed. We are doing the lens correction, enable profile correction, removing chromatic aberration and the upright function. We are putting it to up to auto. We make a panoramic crop to get 1/3 of ground, 2/3 of sky. To get the sunset at the right position. We're checking for noise. There is almost no noise in this photo. So when we have no noise, we put the noise reduction luminance noise to 10, to about 10. Sharpening to 100 minus 10, and we make a masking to get out of the sharpening the sky, which we don't want to be sharpened. We are checking for the spots using the visualize spots function. And we are taking out by cloning the sensor dust. We're bringing down the exposure to get the sensation of sunset. And basically that's all. We synchronize the two photos. From this photo we'll take the ground part, and from the dark photo we take the sky. We'll make a digital blending. So we edit, open as layers in Photoshop. Here we are in Photoshop. Of course we auto align layers without vignette removing, without geometric distortion correction. We unselect the darker layer, and on the lighter layer we generate the luminosity masks, which are pre-installed in Photoshop. we put a dark mask onto the second layer and we choose between brights 1 and brights 2. Let's go for bright 1 because we need to darken more the sky. Basically we take the lower part from the brighter image and the upper side from the darker image. With 100 opacity we paint onto the mask, onto the black mask. And we bring back the details from the darker photo into the lighter one to get the sky. Before, after. For a more powerful effect, we'll duplicate this layer and we will try to put the new layer into another setting, into another blend mode. We try overlay, it's too strong. Multiply, it's too dark. Maybe we go for multiply. No, it's too dark. And we go to darken mode, blending mode. We make a group from all these layers and we name the group blend. We add a blank layer and we fill with 50% gray. We put it under difference mode and we edit a threshold layer. We move to the left and the first black spot that appears will be the midpoint. In order to get a proper toning and contrast, we need to do this procedure. Then we add a curves layer, we add a threshold, we move to left, the first black point will be the black point, we move to the left, the first white point will be the white point. So we have 3 points: black point, white point and midpoint. In fact, we have to move the white point because we didn't choose it correctly. Pressing on the curves, we choose the white, midpoint and dark point. So indeed we received a perfect contrast, but we don't need such a strong contrast everywhere. In fact, we need in the lower and upper side of the photo this strong contrast, but in the mid side where we have the sunset, we need a milder setting for the contrast. So we have a white mask onto this contrast, onto this curves adjustment layer. So we'll paint with black onto the white mask to disable parts of the photo from the contrast adjustment. So we got the right stronger contrast in the ground side of the photo, in the upper sky, and the milder contrast in the sunset area. We can feather a little bit this mask. For a faster presentation, I decided to go more destructively and to merge the layers. We duplicated the main layer and we made a Nick collection Color FX Pro. We applied this on a new layer and we chose a filter named Brilliance and Worms. I wanted to make a warmer sunset. We are ready to go back to Lightroom for final adjustments. Here we are in Lightroom. We redo the whites and the blacks, and I decided to go for a wider histogram. Opening more the highlights, a little bit the lights, and bringing down the darks and the shadows. We are ready to close the photo by adding graduated filters on the top and on the bottom. We lower the exposure and we add a little bit of blue setting on the top. And we lower the exposure on the bottom. And here we are. This is the final result, a beautiful sunset.